Please remain standing for the presentation of colors and the national anthem. Please be seated.
Good afternoon. It's been a great week with baccalaureate, graduation walks through the elementary schools that the seniors attended, state track, scholarship and awards nights, and much more. And it all culminates with this afternoon's commencement exercises. Thank you for coming. Thank you to everyone who is here for the roles you have played in supporting and guiding today's graduates on their way. A special thank you, too, to today's guest of honor, the class of 2016. I know I speak for all people who are privileged enough to work in the schools when I say it's an honor to come to work every day with our goal being to provide the very best education we can to Indianola Community School District students. I thank you, students, for all the ways that you have added to and improved our schools, the ways you've contributed through the years, and I wish you the very best as you leave our halls and embark on your own next steps. My role today is just the welcome, but I can't resist offering a few more words to the graduates. And the basis of that will be an article that Mrs. Sauter shared with me recently, and was called, "What are the Skills Every 18-Year-Old Needs?" And she agreed it would be a good idea to share with you. She added that she thinks a lot of you as a class, as I know everybody here does. Now, the premise of this article is that these are skills you need but might not have because the adults in the room have not done a good job of letting you develop them. So as you listen, don't be insulted, just do a little mental checklist, see how you're doing with these 8 things. Number 1 says an 18-year-old must be able to talk to strangers, faculty, deans, advisors, landlords, store clerks, human resource managers, coworkers, bank tellers, healthcare providers, bus drivers, mechanics, all those people in the real world. As adults, sometimes we tell kids growing up, don't talk to strangers, as opposed to the more nuanced skill of discerning the few bad strangers from the many well-meaning ones. And sometimes that means then that as 18-year-olds, as young adults, you don't know how to approach strangers, how to do that respectfully with eye contact for the help and guidance and direction that you need in the world. That was number 1. Number 2, an 18-year-old must be able to find his way around. You're going to be on a new campus, maybe in a town where you have a summer job, maybe even overseas where you're studying abroad. And it seems like we drive or accompany students many places when they go, when they could make it on their own, but we don't let them. There are all kinds of things that can go wrong with transportation. Maybe you haven't experienced that yet. Now, I know a lot of you drive, seniors. I see the full parking lot over there at the high school. I know some of you even drive lawnmowers to school. At least I saw one that senior's last day, I think. Number 3, an 18-year-old must be able to manage his assignments, workloads, and deadlines. Now, we remind kids when their homework is due and when to do it. Sometimes we help them do it. Sometimes we do it for them. And this allows you not to learn how to prioritize tasks, maybe, or how to manage your workload. Number 4 is an 18-year-old must be able to contribute to the running of a household. Many times you're not asked to do a lot at home because you're so busy. And by the time you have lived your checklisted childhood and done all of your academic things and all of your extracurriculars, maybe you haven't learned all those lessons you should about respecting the needs of others, doing your fair share around the house. Number 5, an 18-year-old must be able to handle interpersonal problems. We know that as you grow up, those difficulties arise. And sometimes as adults, we step in to solve those misunderstandings instead of letting you work through them yourselves. Number 6, an 18-year-old must be able to cope with ups and downs, courses and workloads, college-level work, competition, tough teachers, bosses, and others. And again, because we want you to do well, sometimes we step in, and when things get tough, we extend a deadline for you, or we talk to other adults on your behalf. And then maybe you don't learn that in the normal course of things, things won't always go your way, and that you'll be okay regardless. Number 7, an 18-year-old must be able to earn and manage money. And this is an important one because your parents don't want you living in their basements forever. Again, some of you haven't had time to have part-time jobs. Maybe you receive money for what you need or what you want. And there is a lot of responsibility and a lot of learning that happens with that part-time job when you have that boss that maybe doesn't inherently love you for some reason, or you have to work through some things. And the last one on the list was an 18-year-old must be able to take risk. We have laid out a path for you at times, and we've helped you avoid pitfalls and prevented stumbles at times, and then maybe you don't learn that understanding that success comes only after trying and failing and trying again. People call that grit, or thick skin, resilience that comes from coping when things have gone wrong. So we're reminded our kids must be able to do all these things without resorting to calling a parent or an adult. And there again, as you went through your checklist, maybe you're feeling pretty good about where you're at on those things. I know we have a lot of capable young adults here. I'm going to add a number 9 of my own, and that is an 18-year-old must do what is necessary to get the job done. And I know you understand that to some degree since you're all here. You've met the requirements for graduation. I actually thought of this one as I was mowing my yard a couple of weeks back. I had to get that done because I wanted to get in and watch the Cubs. Thankfully, I was on a riding mower. I have a very sloped backyard, and I had been push mowing that for a while, doing what I needed to get it done, just like number 9 says. But Mr. Calhoun was kind enough to fix my mower. I don't know if you knew he was that talented a guy or not. You may have new respect for him now. But as I was making a turn on the mower, I saw the neighbor kid out in his yard. Now, some of you may know him. He is Jack Jensen, class of 2016. And Jack was on pooper scooper detail for his dog Juno out in the yard. And my first thought was, there's a sign of good parenting that you can get a teenager out in the yard doing that. And then I reflected simply, you know, that's just one of those things that has to get done. And we have all kinds of chores like that in life. And you've experienced a lot of them already, but you have many more ahead of you. Now, I come from southeast Iowa. I've only been here a couple of years. So what comes to mind to me is Larry the Cable Guy. You heard Larry? Get her done? You need to be equipped to just do what you need to do to get the job done. Seniors, I hope that your families and schools have helped equip you pretty well in these 9 areas. You certainly have accomplished a wide variety of successes as a class. You've displayed that you're not only talented people, but more importantly, quality people. And I'll quit rambling at this point, but I want to welcome everybody again. Thank you for being here. Thank you, class of 2016, for being great young people and great representatives of IHS. I wish you all the best in the future. Thank you.
Hello. Our greeting today will be given by Cole Bickham. I first met Cole in the 2nd grade at Irving Elementary, after he moved to Indianola from Idaho. I have fond memories of Cole chasing me around the blacktop with worms after it had rained. The shenanigans with Cole have kept up through the years, famously starting the Indianola rugby team in his senior year. Cole is hardworking, humble, a friend to all, and is always there to lend a hand. Please welcome Cole as he takes the stage.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the celebration for the graduating class 2016 from Indianola High School. I love this room. This gym was built 5 years ago, or 4 years ago, our 8th grade year, and that was quite the story for our class. We were a bunch of middle schoolers that thought we were hot stuff. I mean, I did. And we had a lot of construction going on in here. They tore out all the music halls, and so our band and choirs, or our band and orchestra at least, we'd come in here and play, and I'd come in and play my saxophone, and construction workers would be up there working on the track, and I'd be jamming out, and it was a party. It was fun. For Day, we got these cool plastic builder yellow hats. I still have mine, and it was cool. And then, finally, they finished, and then we went to high school and didn't really get to use it. So I'm really glad that we can have graduation in here. It makes that year worth it for us. I'm glad. We are also the class, our 5th grade year. They had completed building Wilder Elementary, and Irving went all year round. And so our 5th grade year, we all switched up schools. And so, you know, in elementary school, you grow up with your friends that you know. And randomly, we were all mixed up. And so we met new people our 5th grade year. So we had our parade of graduates, and we went back to elementary school this week, and everyone's like, which of your schools did you go to? So that was our class's final year of elementary school. This year, first semester, we got the fire alarms to go off about every other day, and it was great. Missed out on a lot of class. That was fun. Let's see, and the door alarms, our senior year. We love those door alarms. They're our friends. In 6th grade, we had so many snow days that we had to start staying longer after school to make them up every day. That one wasn't fun. That was miserable. And here we are today at graduation. I'm thinking many things, but among them, there are 2 I'd like to share. One is that we look really silly in purple bathrobes and pointy hats. And the other is that I'm going to miss you guys. I have a lot of friends in this class, and we have a lot of good memories. I'd like to share a couple. Some of these are from teachers, others are about students. Mr. Garrels, my cross-country coach, my track coach from middle school, and my math teacher, taught me a lot about math and even more about life. Thank you to all the awesome ladies in the guidance office and the retired Mr. Taylor for letting me use their microwave for when I need to heat up my food all 4 years, even though I took all of their salt and pepper. Mr. Ron Johnson, the construction teacher, every single time I messed up my wood project, he would fix it. Every single time. I needed that. To Tyler Combs and Oleg Notchbay, they just broke the 4x8 school record on Thursday, and that's awesome. In middle school, I ran track with them. I have many fond memories of middle school track. And in 8th grade, we broke the 4x8 record. And it was not because of me, it was because of Tyler and Oleg. So shout out to them. Also shout out to Luke Bell, who, like me, we were kind of just there along for the ride while those two whooped up, and we were pretty decent. That was fun. Thank you to every guy I ever ran track with, cross country, everyone I ever swam with, everyone on the 8th grade boys basketball C team. We were good. That was fun. Everyone I did Parks and Rec soccer with. Those were some of the best days of my life. I love Parks and Rec soccer. And to all the rugby guys. Guys, we made it. Nice job. Everyone who's ever done a sport knows in these sports we come close together. There are bonds with your fellow teammates that you can't make anywhere else. Those are very special. To my middle school Battle of the Books team, Natalie Biddle and Kate Kilcoff, you guys are geniuses. They had 4 of them on a team. These girls, they went and they whooped up 6th and 7th grade, and then Jackson Guilford and I joined, and we got thumped 8th grade because of us, I think. But it was fun. Thank you to everyone who came to capture the flag at Buxton Park or long ago at Pickard. A lot of you have no idea what I'm talking about, but we organize huge games and we just go party, and it's awesome. Thank you to all the choir kids for accepting me into choir, even though I was 6 or 7 years later than all of you. I've made so many great friends in choir. To Mrs. Hagner, among many other teachers, teaching me to love music. That's something that I can't ever express how grateful I'm for. Hunter Albers, every time we would arm wrestle in 7th grade, it was great. Hunter in 7th grade was about this tall and weighed about 50 pounds. He beat me sometimes. Mrs. Potabom, Miss P, Mama P. If ever I was scared, I knew Mama P would protect me. Even to this day, ever since A-Push sophomore year, I know I'll be okay because of Mama P. Mr. Potabom, teaching a middle school track and cross-country runner, a little twig, how to weight lift. I need some more work, but you helped me. Celeste Gebhardt. Every time I was clueless and didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing, Celeste would help me. She deserves a raise and a really, really big hug. Carl Colley. There's so many things I could say, but Carl, we love you. Just keeping you. By the way, I believe it was him who drove his lawnmower to school. Mr. Conan, one of everyone's favorite substitute teachers and the nicest man on the planet. And Jackson Guilford. I can't really forgive you for moving to Florida for a couple years in the middle of our high school career, but in your future, when you're playing tennis professionally, among all your wealth and glory, remember you're Bud Cole, and maybe with all that money, help me out a bit. Just a thought, all right? These are all of my memories, not all of them. All of these are my memories. We all have our own individual memories. We have the people that are special to us. We have the teachers that have taught us things, and the coaches and the teammates. And we all have our own stories. Do not forget those stories. These are very special days, and they're behind us now. We have exciting days ahead. Remember these ones. Thank you to everyone who helped make all of these experiences special. To everyone who ever came and supported anyone at a sporting event, whoever clapped at a musical performance, who helped me with my chemistry homework when I needed it desperately. Everyone who ever tagged someone else in a photo on Facebook or Instagram. That makes people feel special. Anyone who made me cookies, you guys are the best. Everyone who ever smiled or said hi in the hall, just to let me know you were my friend. You guys are the best. And finally, thank you to our families. We have very different families, and most of them are weird. But they mean so much to us, especially to my own family, my brothers and sisters. They're all going off and getting married, so I'm getting new brothers-in-law and sisters-in-laws. My parents, they're the greatest. Thank you. Guys, I think it is time to wrap up our 12 past years of education and get on with the rest of our lives. Thank you to everyone who helped me make these memories. Remember them, and go make more memories. And make sure that you remember all the things that are important to you. Welcome to the graduation of the class of 2016. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm John Monroe, and this is Joe Reynolds. We're members of the Hall of Distinction Committee, and we'd like to honor two people today. The Wall of Distinction was started in 2004, and the purpose was to honor past graduates who have gone on and used their God-gift talents and their work ethic to be very successful in different areas and occupations. Today, we have 37 members in our group, and we're looking for people who in the community would like to nominate any others. The criteria is in your program. You must have graduated over 25 years ago and gone on and demonstrated outstanding scholarly, professional, or community services. We currently, our earliest graduate we have honored graduated in 1878, and those honored in the past have been active in agriculture, business, education, entertainment, government agencies and service, journalism, judicial service, medicine, and military service. Again, if anyone knows anyone who has graduated from Indianola High School and would like to nominate them, we need to have you send a letter of recommendation to the high school principal's office with their year of graduation and a short resume on the individual. In 2011, we added another category, and that was notable educators. Those educators who have served the district for at least 10 years and affected the lives of young people and led to their success as students and adults. We hope the graduates today here aspire to use their talents and work ethic to someday be nominated for this, which we believe is in a very elite group of young people. Our first inductee is Jerry Stockton. Jerry was a 1961 graduate, and as my understanding was very well-versed in math and science, and was eager to take college classes in his freshman year, but was not allowed to do so. Thank God that's changed, and you are allowed to do that. After graduation, he was appointed to West Point Academy and earned a BS degree in engineering and received an MA in nuclear engineering at the Air Force Institute of Technology. He served in the United States Air Force from 1965 to 1974, and then was active in nuclear technology and warfare as a division manager of nuclear weapons technology, a director of technical policy research, senior systems engineer, an advisor and consultant, and has also written publication in this area. Jerry retired in 2014 after a career of 49 years in this field. He now resides with his wife, Inez, in Palm Springs, California. It gives me great pleasure to present this award to Jerry, and congratulations. I knew you would. Go ahead.
This would be very short, because the last thing you need is another old person giving a speech up here. But I do want to thank you for this honor, for this award, and to say that most of the people that I've seen on the wall of distinction that are there are exceptional people, and they deserve the honor, just like one day many of you who are sitting here will deserve the same honor. Thank you very much.
As John said, my name is Jo Reynolds. I'm a member of the committee. Today, I have the honor of presenting to you Kathleen Malstead, the new inductee to the Wall of Distinction as a Noble Educator. For 27 years, Kathy had a positive and enthusiastic teaching approach that helped build a foundation of learning for hundreds of children. She taught kindergarten at Emerson, Irving, and Hawthorne for 22 years, and after retirement, she taught 5 years at the Indianola preschool. Kindergarten can be a difficult adjustment time for many children as they start school. Kathy had an amazing passion for teaching, and she took the time to be motivating and encouraging, ensuring that each child was comfortable and felt important. As one of the first people to touch children's lives, she instilled the love of learning, the joy of books, reading, writing, hard work, and all that goes into developing young students with integrity and character. Kathy has always been known and respected for her championing of children that she taught and cared for throughout her teaching career and beyond. She was able to instill love and caring at the same time providing a fun and positive learning experience. She's been an inspiration to everyone she worked with, all the families, the children she taught, their parents, her peers, educational leaders in our community, all her friends, and most importantly to her, her family. She was a leader in the school district developing innovative ideas to create new programs and projects that would lead to the betterment of the schools and also to keep teachers motivated. Kathy has been an example to all of us all her life, and she continues to be an important leader, quoted a family member. Kathy had a keen perception of what each child needed. She knew when to offer encouragement or when to take a step back. She validated what children and her coworkers were doing. She would authenticate and be a cheerleader for everyone, said a former coworker. She makes a difference today. It doesn't matter if you're a 5-year-old or a 50-year-old, quoted a friend. Kathy is very dedicated to what is important in life. She cares deeply and continues to teach each day, just not in the classroom. Kathy has shared her time and talents as a mentor, leader, listener, and problem solver. Kathy truly exemplifies dedication to the students of Indianola and the Indianola community. Please join me in extending a heartfelt thank you to a very passionate educator who has made an impact, not only in my life, but also her family, extended family, friends, students, and peers. Kathy Malstead.
Well, I certainly want to thank the committee and the person who nominated me. But you know, as I was standing here, it just occurred to me that really where the thank you begins is in the home. So I'm going to take this opportunity to thank the many, many parents, well, in the hundreds, I guess, who have encouraged me and who have allowed me to be a part of their lives, because you know it's in the home where it begins. Thank you so much.
All right, the concert choir was pretty good. Hello again. Next will be the student address given by Adam Heater. Adam Heater is a pretty fun guy. He's kind of our class clown here for the class of 2016. He's a member of the show choir and a cappella choirs. He's our student body president. He's an excellent golfer, and he's a really, really good ping pong player. He used to come over to my attic, and we'd play ping pong, and no one could touch him. It was pretty impressive. He probably put that on his resume for Drake next fall, where he'll be studying public relations with an emphasis in sports broadcasting. So I'm pretty excited for his speech. Please welcome Adam Heater to the stage.
Well, my name's Adam Heater, and there's a lot of people here, but that's okay. And I was really excited when I was told I got to give the main student address, and naturally I was pretty nervous, but probably not as much as some of you because I haven't really had much of a problem talking in front of people, but more just because I didn't want to give the cliche graduation speech. Look, we made it. Wow, you know. And so I wrote something a little weird. Hopefully that's what you guys were expecting when you elected me to do this. Don't know if that was a good idea or not. But the speech I wrote is a letter to my 14-year-old self with some advice and insight from an 18-year-old version of himself who probably still doesn't know what he's talking about. So here goes something different, and if you like it, cool, and if you don't, sorry. What's up, loser? Nah, I'm just messing with ya. What I meant to say was, make good choices. Treat others how you want to be treated, and always be yourself. I'm guessing you're probably hearing that a lot considering you're about to start high school, and you'll probably be hearing it for the rest of your life. But open your ears, Adam. People don't say cliches just for the sake of being repetitive. Cliches are cliche for a reason. And you don't need to be hearing the same stuff from the same crappy motivational posters that hang in every single high school hallway in America. But get it through your brain, you lazy, self-centered, sorry-for-yourself teenager. Nobody is stopping you from doing great things. You need to become intoxicated with a passion to do whatever you want to do in this world. And no, passion is not something that a lot of people around you have. Yes, Stacy Smith is passionate about her art. And yes, Cole Bickham is passionate about playing saxophone. And yes, Gage Smart is passionate about Snapchatting as many people as is humanly possible. And so you can see there are so many things that you can decide to be passionate about. And if you're passionate about something, anything, then that's when life becomes worth living. And that's when the words that you say become worth speaking, and the breaths that you take are being inhaled and exhaled with a purpose. And right now, 14-year-old Adam Heater, I know you think life is hard. You don't know your way around the high school, and some of the seniors are really big and really, really scary. And you haven't even had your first kiss yet, you loser. But for some stupid reason, you think that matters. And your face gets flushed every time you see that one girl in the hallway. Oh, you know what girl I'm talking about, Adam. She looks like an angel every single day, and you've been trying to get her attention since second grade. And it seems like your opportunities are starting to fade away because she keeps giving other guys that perfect gaze that, if she ever sent it your way, would without doubt make your heartstrings fervidly and swooningly play concertos, sonatas, and symphonies that would be stuck in your head all day and would tug the corners of your mouth into a smile every time you replayed that gaze over and over in your head. And while she's a great friend of mine today, Adam, I can say confidently that I am not in love with her anymore. Adam, you need to stop being so passionate about your foolish, immature, and blind love for Montana DeCamp. You are in 8th grade, and you don't know what you're doing. Not only do you think you're in love, but you play too many video games, and you don't tell your parents you love them enough, and you aren't even giving your best effort at school. You want to be respected, and you want to be well-liked, but you put forth no effort, and you have no passion for anything that you do. But Adam, you are capable of outgrowing all of that bullcrap. I know you're going to get depressed sometimes, and you'll feel like gravity's working overtime to keep you down, and it gets harder to put one foot in front of the other, but you have a choice. You can choose to do everything you do passionately, or you can continue to not try and mindlessly follow the latest trends and eat only what your mom rations out for you because you aren't even driven enough to cook your own food. But someday you'll learn that to be happy in this world, you have to work your backside off, and you'll have to learn not to take the shirt on your back for granted. Because as sweet as this world can be, it's a jawbreaker. So even if you have the universe's biggest mouth, you can't just chew the world up and spit it out. You have to savor it. So if you can find something in this sweet world to be as passionate about in the future as you are about Montana DeCamp now in your life, go ahead and show the world how passion can move boulders. But even if you can't move a boulder with all the passion in your heart, or if you can't even muster the strength to take a running start, that's all right. Because you don't need to be the best boulder roller in the whole wide world. Ordinary's outstanding. The world around you is too concerned with measuring the distance that you can move that rock instead of measuring how much passion is coming from your heart. This world is so confusing. You'll have heartbreaks, you'll fail some tests, and you'll be the center of attention at all the wrong times because you don't know any better. And yes, you'll be embarrassed. And you'll feel like life would be easier if you could just go to sleep and not wake up. But just for the sake of cliches and repetition, Adam, you need to find passion in your life, in everything you do. Give your words meaning and never, ever waste a day. This world really is so confusing. But you're going to be fine. I promise. You're going to be fine. Thank you.
The famous American founding father Thomas Paine once said, "What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly." This is as true today as it was 200 years ago in the age of Thomas Paine. This year's senior class understands exactly what he meant by this. He meant that you have to work hard at something in order to appreciate it. You now understand this because the diploma you are about to be given has deep meaning to you because of all the hard work it represents. It represents all the late nights of studying. It represents all the papers that you had to type and proofread. It represents all the textbooks and novels you had to read. It represents all the problems you had to solve for either chemistry, physics, or a plethora of math classes. This diploma has meaning to you because of all the hard work it represents. Hard work and dedication has led to numerous accomplishments this school year that all have meaning, not because they were easy, but because they were hard. The girls' basketball team set a school record for consecutive wins and qualified for the state basketball tournament. Again, this means something to these ladies because it was not easily attained, but rather something that had to be worked for. The boys and girls cross-country teams accomplished something this year that was unprecedented in Indianola High School history. Both cross-country teams qualified for state. Once more, this has personal meaning to these individuals because it took hard work and dedication to accomplish. Our cross-country coaches were voted Coaches of the Year. They were given this distinction not because they were indolent and lazy, but rather for all the hard work and commitment that they gave to the program. The football team qualified for the state playoffs. They did this not by sleeping in, watching TV, and playing video games all day, but instead through waking up early, coming in, and doing hard work. Hard work like lifting weights, running wind sprints, doing agility drills, and miles of farmer walks. They did this for 2 or more hours a day, 5 days a week, day after day, week after week throughout the entire summer. They did this whether it was a scorching 95 degrees or if it was pouring rain. The Impulse dance team got Division I ratings at the state dance competition. They did this by night after night after night of rigorous workouts. They practiced and practiced until they were one of the state's best dance teams. The Indianola wrestling team went undefeated in conference duels and qualified for the state tournament. In addition to their normal daily practices, they would have 2-a-day practices twice a week, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. They came in nearly every day during their Thanksgiving and winter breaks. And while they had to watch their friends and family enjoy things like pizza, lasagna, and assorted desserts, the wrestlers went without, just so that they could make weight. Their 16th place finish at state means something to these individuals because it was not easy, it was difficult. The competition cheer squad placed at the state competition. They accomplished this honor through hours and hours of memorization of routines so that they were so choreographed and so in sync with each other that they were near flawless. They did this by successfully performing dangerous stunts where they toss individuals high up into the air. This requires skill, bravery, and trust. Was this easy? No. It was challenging, and because it was demanding, those girls will remember it for the rest of their lives. The academic decathlon team qualified for the state meet in Spirit Lake for the 13th year in a row. They did this by having to read and memorize an entire novel. They did this by studying vast amounts of material and proving their knowledge of it over other schools. This was difficult, and that's what gives it meaning. Not only has hard work and perseverance led to success in extracurricular activities, but it has also led to success in the classroom. This year's Indianola graduates have worked tirelessly in the classroom and been held to a rigorous curriculum. They have been pushed hard and held to high standards by their teachers. Whether you were challenged by anatomy and physiology, AP Euro, chemistry, AP chemistry, or a myriad of other classes that all taught you the necessary study skills that you will need in college and life after high school. You learn to work hard by watching your teachers work hard. They not only work hard during the school year, but also during their summer months. You watched your teachers work hard and noticed what hard work had gotten them, and then you copied it. Your indomitable work ethic is probably the single most important thing you have learned in your high school career. Your hard work, class of 2016, has accomplished so much in and outside the classroom. If you didn't have to work to gain these accomplishments, they would mean very little to you. If these accomplishments had just been handed to you, they would be meaningless. Thomas Paine also stated this very premise another way. The harder the challenge, the more glorious the triumph. So, graduates, it's my advice to you to go out and do the most challenging things you can. because in the end, those will be the things that mean the most to you. And if I can indulge myself with one last thing here, this will be the last chance I get to do this with this year's seniors. This is something I'm famous for, a little cheer that I do. So this will be the last time I get to do it with you guys. Oxygen plus glucose makes ATP. 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 Thank you.
Good afternoon. It is with great honor that I get to recognize the honored students of Indianola High School. Students, please stand up and face crowd as you hear your name called for the silver cord. Ross Adamson. Paige Aldred. Haley Bockham. Carly Batt. Madeline Brenningham. Mackenzie Cara. Joshua Chambers. Hannah Clavel. Sophia Collado. Alexis Derrickson. Tanner Freyberg. Abigail Geringer. Madeline Glasscock. Whitney Grubb. Donald Hagan. Jocelyn Hagner. Brianna Howland. Brittany Hanna. Joseph Howard. Quinn Jacobson. John Cawley. Carter Kennedy. Catherine Keelcock. Alexa Kincaid. Mary Leach. Sarah Logan. Mal Lohr. Matthew Marciano. Shelby Maddox. Mary Grace McConnell. Doris Ann McGinnis. Jonah Miller. Lindsay Miller. Mason Neubauer. Paige Nicholson. Oleg Notve. Mark O'Meara. Cassie Osborne. Justin Overman. Emily Parker. Madison Parker. Joshua Peters. Walker Porterfield. Angela Rivas. Paige Seward. Peyton Shear. Caitlin Showers. Emily Soames. Taylor Steiner. Isaiah Strong. Emily Sutherland. Blake Upchurch. Marissa Vanderlinden. Nicholas Vogel. Katie Westlake. And Ashley Wildman. Please give these students a hand of applause. Thank you and congratulations to the Silver Cord students. Gold Honor Cord students, please stand up and face the crowd as you hear your name called for the Gold Honor Cord. Students receiving the Gold Honor Cord must earn a cumulative GPA of 4.0 or above. James Aiello. Luke Bell. Cole Bickham. Natalie Biddle. Shelby Kasner. Montana DeCamp, Courtney Elkin, Madeline Fitzhugh, Jackson Guilford, Dana Kierkegaard, Brittany Redding, Sebastian Soldwich, Joseph Van Treek, Natalie Wilkinson, and Tanner Zimmerman. Congratulations, students receiving the Gold's Honor Cord.
Seniors, congratulations on your accomplishments to this point. It has been rewarding to have worked with you as you have grown and matured through your high school years. I wish you all the best in the future and hope Indianola High School has helped you build a solid foundation that will help you accomplish your future goals and dreams. At this time, it is my pleasure to present the class of 2016 to Mr. Sadoff and the Indianola Board of Education. These students have successfully met the requirements for graduation set forth by Indianola High School in the state of Iowa. Would the first row please stand and come forward? Yeah. I would ask that during the reading of the names, you please hold your applause until the end so all students and families can hear the name of their graduate being read off. Thank you. Kaylee Sarah Aberson Disler. Emily Nicole Adamson. Ross James Adamson. James Christopher Aiello. Hunter Michael Albers. Paige Audrey Aldred. Hunter Lee Anderson. Thomas J. Appenzeller. Haley Michelle Bockham. Drake Alexander Lee Baker. Michael John Baker. Shyla Dawn Colleen Baker. Tiffany Marie Barr. Michaela Lynn Beretta. Carly Paige Batt. Darby Thomas Bean. Luke Jacob Bell. Cole Randy Bickham. Natalie Ann Biddle. Forrest Jackson Bishop. Malik Hezekiah Blazer. Taylor Marie Buzel. Sadie Ann Boyd. Arian S. Bratt. Colby Matthew Brewer. Lainey Marie Brightwell. Madeline Rose Brittingham. Zachariah Lee Brown. Nicholas David Bryan. Emily Ann Buchanan. Chelsea Nicole Burchett. Reed John Campbell. Brooklyn Leanne Cannon. Wyatt Damian Carpenter. Mackenzie Marie Cara. Quincy James Cara. Shelby Leanne Kasner. Catherine Marie Catron.
Joshua Michael Chambers. Ashley Ann Marie Clark. Robert William Clausen. Hannah Nicole Clavel. Quentin Wayne Coe. Taylor Lynn Cole. Sophia Roxette Collado. Tyler Joseph Combs. Audrey Kathleen Comer. Caitlin S. Connett. Tricia Rose Cox. Kelly Danielle Krabs. Morgan Lane Darling. Trevor Garrett Davey. Connor Dean Davidson. Hannah Isabel Dawson. Montana Jean DeCamp. Cole Eric Troy Denning. Alexis Ray Derrickson. Caitlin Rose Dew. Scout Stephen Dishman. Courtney Lynn Duffy. Lindsay Elizabeth Duffy. Kyle William Egerton. Griffin Ty Evans. Courtney Lynn Elkin. Emily Claire Ellsworth. Dominic Thomas Indrasal. Alyssa Marie Evans. Jared Anthony Evans. Laney Michael Fight. Dylan Michael Fitzgerald. Madeline Hyler Fitzhugh. Logan James Friedel. Tanner Scott Freyberg. Chase Michael Fridley. Zoe Etta Fridley. Jamie Lynn Fuller. Elizabeth Peyton Gabbard.
Dakota James Gabriel. Abigail Louise Geelan. Abigail Lane Geringer. Madeline Ann Glasscock. Raina Joy Gokin. Tara Lynn Gould. Ashley Marie Grabowskis. Bryson Mack Graham. Daniel Gray. Taylor Renee Grubel. Genevieve Grice. Trace Thomas Griffin. Aubrey Lee Griffith. Kennedy Lynn Gross. Whitney Hope Grubb. Jackson Douglas Guilford. Donald Ori Hagan. Jocelyn Marie Hagner. Brianna Christine Hallen. Brittany Lynn Hanna. Nicholas Robert Harbin. Aaron Michael Harris. Jordan Ashley Harvey. Adam Gary Heater. Madeline Marie Hetherington. Blake Edmund Higgins. McCrae Scooter Haneke. Hannah Colleen Hounsome. Tanner Blaine Houston. Joseph James Howard. Reese Jordan Howard. Tanner Ray Howard. Harley Philip Hughes. Catherine Patrice Hulick. Jalen Cedric Hunter. Rebecca Ann Hunter. James Leroy Hughes. Shane Henry Huss. Quinn Stanley Jacobson.
Ashley Lynn Jensen. Jack Nicholas Jensen. Jordan L. Johns. China Lynn Johnson. Noah Lee Johnson. Shanda Dawn Johnston. Tate Jacob Jolliffe. Amber Raquel Jones. Ethan Andrew Jones. John Carl Robert Cawley. Wyatt B. Caldenberg. Riley Renee Karras. Carter Owen Kennedy. Brianna Nicole Kentner. Catherine Ann Kielkoff. Alexa Louise Kincaid. Virginia Elizabeth Kenter. Briston Elizabeth Kiergan. Dana Catherine Kierkegaard. Samuel Robert Kirkendall. Gabrielle Renee Knight. Mallory Brooke Kirpin. Brennan Joseph Kurth. Christian Lane Loffman. Mary Catherine Leach. Abigail Marie Lehman. Hannah Michelle Lester. Sarah Christine Logan. Mao Si Tung Lor. Olivia Jean Lowry. Emma Rebecca Loniken. Nash Ludwig. Gage Joseph Lund. Matthew Aaron Lee Majerus. Haley Sue Mapes. Matthew Alexander Marciano. Victoria Morgan Marco. Emma Nicole Martz.
Shelby Glendale Maddox. Delaney Jeanette May. Madison Riley Mays. Jessica Shea McCombs. Mary Grace McConnell. Clinton Andrew McCormick. Zane Garrett McDunn. Doris Ann Mary Maxine McGinnis. Casey Michael McKinney. Trenton Bradley Mine. Courtney Leanne Miller. Jonah Daniel Miller. Colin Dwayne Miller. Lindsay Marie Miller. Ashley Ann Morgan. Brian Keith Mosley. Tori Lee Mule. Caleb Christopher Murphy. Taylor Maxine Neal. Mason Joseph Neubauer. Jennifer Diane Nichols. Paige Ann Nicholson. Cooper Dwayne Nickel. Oleg Ruslin Nakve. Mark Joseph O'Meara. Cameron Michael Onstadt. Schaefer David Orwig. Cassie Joe Osborne. Saul Jonathan Ott. Justin Martin Overman. Lance William Oxford. Ronnie Lynn Palmer Wadley. Emily Sue Parker. Madison Ann Parker. Taylor Nicole Pascours. Jacob Robert Peters. Joshua Peters. Erin Christine Peterson.
Brandon Michael Pettit. Peyton Phillips. William Lane Pearson. Walker Clinton Porterfield. Patricia Lee Posey. Anthony Robert Potabom. Cameron Alexander Powers. Keenan James Pritchard. Kelsey Dawn Purdy. Michelle Joe Putz. Kyle John Rankin. Abigail Ann Raridan. Brittany Marie Redding. Pedro Juan Reyes. Kylie Lynn Rippiger. Angela Christina Rivas. Devin Rogers Schuff. Tyler James Roush. Austin Leroy Russell. Graham Franklin Sandquist. Kelsey Lynn Shark. Brenton Walter Charlo. Nicole Ann Schumacher. Shauna Lynn Schumacher. Paige Mary Rose Seward. Kirsten Elaine Shelley. Peyton David Marshall Schur. Caitlin Elizabeth Showers. Carly Ann Schuff. Jared Edwin Sickles. Jacob Michael Six. Brianne Victoria Skellinger. John Austin Skelton. Gage Matthew Smart. Anastasia Marie Smith. Anjay Lily Smith. Hannah Joe Snodgrass. Sebastian Keith Soldwich. Emily Marie Sowens. Daniel David Spain.
Robert Lee Spiker. Taylor Nicole Steiner. Aiden James Robert Stills. Andre Matthew Stoll. Addison Raylyn Streeter. Isaiah Anthony Strong. Olivia Pearl Sullivan. Alyssa Renee Sunga. Emily Marie Sutherland. Anna Marie Elizabeth Swenson. Alex Renee Talbot. Jacob Taylor. Emma Josephine Thompson. Connor Maxwell Timmerman. Cameron Dallas Turnbull. Blake Kevin Upchurch. Carrie Lynn Van Clark. Marissa May Vanderlinden. Danielle Alexis Vanderpool. Brock Stephen Van Loon. Joseph Charles Van Treek. Gretchen Marie Wiesman. Nicholas Allen Vogel. Tyler John Wallace. Sean Isaac Ward. Deshaun Joseph Jordan Welch. Katie Marie Westlake. Tyler Allen Weston. Ashley Lynn Wildman. Natalie Grace Wilkinson. Jennifer Taylor Wilson. Kayla Marie Wilson. Matthew Joseph Wilson. Jennifer Maylene Wood. Shane Michael Woods. Nathan Paul Woosley. Tanner Michael Zimmerman. Tanner, would you please lead the class of 2016 in the symbolic measure of moving the tassel from the right to left side, signifying you each have accomplished something that nobody can ever take away? Let me also be the first to thank you for making the most of your high school experience. Congratulations to each of you from the entire staff at Indianola High School, and best of luck in the future. Represent your alma mater well wherever life's journey takes you. Please now stand one last time as a class and turn to the crowd to be recognized. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Indianola High School class of 2016. Graduates, please be seated.
While the a cappella choir assembles up here, I would just like to say a quick thank you to Cam Schneider. He has been one of our dual enrolled students for the last 3 years and was a full-time student this year. He graduated in a ceremony yesterday in Des Moines. Thank you to Cam for coming back today to help us out.
Hi, I'm Montana DeCam, and to anyone who knows me, or if you follow me on Twitter, @DeCampMontana, you know that Emily Soanes is my best friend. And it's been that way since first grade. And I can remember there was a time Emily and I were at daycare with our best friend Shelby Maddox, and each one of us had some plastic bracelets. They weren't the silly bands everyone was so infatuated with in middle school. They were just plain plastic bracelets. And rather than having them around our wrists or on the table, we were sticking them in our mouths. We'd have part of the bracelet across the top row of our teeth and the other part across the bottom row. And believe it or not, we actually thought we were cool by doing this, because we thought we were just like the kids in middle school because we had braces. And looking back on that time, I asked myself why. Why were we sticking plastic things in our mouth, and why were none of the daycare teachers stopping us from this choking hazard? Why were we not playing at the Lego table or doing crafts? Why were we so intrigued by what was going to happen in the next couple of years? We weren't having fun being a brace-free Emerson Elementary kid right then. Go ahead 8 years, and here we are, the end of the end. Most importantly, it's the end of this long graduation ceremony, but also the end of your K through 12 journey. And it's crazy to think about, isn't it? Because at first, you didn't realize it, the whole growing up thing. You've heard for years.
Try it.
Okay, no. Yeah? Yes.
Say something.
Okay, no? Good? Oh, okay, yep, there we go, yay! Okay, so you've heard for years that you gained so big and you're growing up so fast, but you brushed it off, because you were young. What was an adult anyway? We had all this time to grow up, time to make new friends, time to go new places, and time to try new things. The time we had seemed to be an endless supply. Because one day, you were walking into the first day of kindergarten, a 5 or 6-year-old armed with little knowledge, trying to learn colors, numbers, and letters. You sat crisscross applesauce as you read stories and colored lots of pictures, not yet worried about what it meant to be outside the lines. Because one day, you were walking into the first day of first grade. You came prepared with matching backpacks and lunch boxes, back-to-school outfits, and pencil boxes full of crayons. We stored our supplies in our blue seat sacks as we headed off to the playground. But after a while, all the excitement of no longer being the smallest kids in school faded away, and we longed for what was next. We longed for time to fly. The years passed, and with each year passed another first day of school. We focused more on the grades ahead and what was going to happen, the field trips, the class pets, the AR points to be earned, and the rocket math levels to be reached. Every class ahead of us seemed more magnificent, so much cooler and so much bigger than us. Our thoughts never drifted to the idea that our time would run out. Because one day, you're walking into the first day of 6th grade, your first day of middle school, our first real day as a whole class of 2016. I know for most of us, if not all of us, it's a time we'd like to forget. I know Carl doesn't want to remember the time he dropped and killed Mr. Regala's tarantula. Tiffany doesn't want to remember the time she fell off the stage. And nobody wants to talk about the timed 8-minute runs we did on Fridays in our hideous navy and yellow jerseys. As we all know, middle school translates to awkward, braces, too much eyeliner, Aeropostale, and over-edited photos. If time moved slowly in elementary school, it came to an abrupt stop in middle school. And we never really knew what we were wishing away when we begged for our time to pass quickly. Because one day, you're walking into the first day of high school. The fear of being a freshman made you feel smaller than you did in elementary school. We were paralyzed by the possibilities. But after a while, we got into the swing of things. We watched our first football game from the back row of the bleachers, competed in our first high school competitions, got used to our new teachers and schedules, and 10 of us were up the freshmen as we gave our battle cry at assemblies and games. Whether it was in art like Ashley Wildman, music like Jocelyn, athletics like Schaefer, or just the love for learning like Emily Sutherland, each one of you found that thing that allowed you to find yourselves. But after we found that, we were eager for what was next. We were eager to receive the perks of each grade year to come and eager to fast forward. Because one day, you're walking into the first day of your senior year. 273 days ago, we were finally seniors. It was what we wanted, wasn't it? To be at the top, to have opens, to get the front row, to get the senior lounge, and to get the senior bench, even if it was short-lived. But it was a bittersweet feeling, because what we ultimately realized is the time we thought we had was no longer an endless supply. And the uncertainty of this realization made us appreciate the time we had left so much more. For the first time, we tried focusing on the right now, because it was no longer about our first time doing things, only about our last time. We were finally aware of the ticking clock. Because one day, you walked out for your last time ever being an Indianola High School student. There was no next game, no next match, no more scholastic book fairs, no more Mr. Regala's The Birds and the Bees talks, no more Bonnie stories from Mrs. Garrels, no more lectures from Pulaski, no more driving up and down the rows of the parking lot to find a spot, when in the end you decide to give up and make your own spot, pet it. No more recess, no more vote for Cam and Sam, no more folders with Troy Bolton or Hannah Montana on them, no more locally famous performing the same song at every 8th grade event, never being able to smell what is for lunch even though you weren't in the cafeteria. There was no more high school. So here we are, the end of the end. The journey that started in kindergarten is finally over. But today, you walked into the first day that is all yours. A day and a future that is not yet predetermined by the grades ahead of you. Author Azar Nafasi once wrote, "You get a strange feeling when you leave a place. Like you'll not only miss the people you love, but you'll miss the person you are at this very time and place, because they'll never be this way again." And it's true, because it's all about to change. Never again will the whole class of 2016 be together for another academic year. Never again will we be surrounded by familiar faces, just for whatever the theme may be in the stands for Friday night games. Never again will we be surrounded by familiar faces for the hours and hours of rehearsals. And never again will we be surrounded by the familiar faces that ultimately shaped you into the person you are at this very time and place. Today could very well be the last time you see the people sitting on your left and on your right. Friends and faces you've grown accustomed to seeing 5 days out of the week. It's overwhelming, isn't it, that the people we spent the past 4 years of our life with won't be in our next 4. We'll all go off in a couple of months to do our own thing, attend college, go to work, travel, stay home, whatever it may be. And people are going to try to tell you that the best years of your life are behind you. But don't let that be true. Rather use your years in high school as the platform to the best years of your life. It's easy to sit in a multi-purpose room with plastic bracelets and dream of a future. But then once you get there, you want to be somewhere else. And that's not how it should be. The only time we are guaranteed is the time we have right now. And if we take our time for granted and wish it away, you begin to miss what's happening. So thank you to the class of 2016 for our time together and the memories made, and making this journey a feeling I will always remember. And as we officially say farewell to high school, we say hello to the opportunity-filled years to come. Thank you.